Hello, my name's Darryl Lee. I'm with Team Purpose LLC. I am the Executive Operations Director, and today we're going to compare communities. I'm going to look at the communities that are occupied by mostly Americans of African descent, and I'm going to compare that to other communities. Let's start with the communities occupied by Americans of African descent. What I've noticed, and I've only been just actively present in the communities for about 8 months, and I've already figured out some things. These little community stores in these black areas, they are operating without uh, any kind of accountability. And I'm going to explain it like this. We have in these communities a neighborhood store on seems like almost every other block. And all of them are making money. Now, I used to run convenience stores, and I pretty much know how much one convenience store can make. That's if you're selling liquor, beer, few little groceries, cigarettes. That's where most of your money come from in these communities. Now, and that's just one store in an area that's struggling. Liquor licenses are high. Uh, Employees, that's a pretty good expense. Uh, Employees are supposed to be responsible for keeping the place clean. That's a good expense. So you got to pay your people, you got to pay your liquor license, you got to keep the lights on, you got to keep the water on, you got to keep the utilities on. And these companies are operating with the basics, but the safety of these companies is not a priority. It's dark, is dim around some of these places. It's occupied. The outside is occupied by individuals who are. I don't want to say all of them are up to no good, but you can tell who's doing uh, no good around the business, and they all are like that. And some of them are inside. Do up to no good. They're not stealing from the store. They're selling something in the store. Now, I come to a conclusion that we can no longer just blame our children for or our young adults for the behavior that they see. They go in these stores and they see their parents being disrespected. They see uh, uh, they see things that uh, they just not gonna go for. These are young adults and they have it in their mind, you're not gonna disrespect me. Plain and simple. Mamas come in there and they, gather their liquor and cigarettes and whatever else they getting out of these places and they go up to the counter. I don't care if you're spending food stamps. In a business like that, that's cash money. That is money. So you deserve you deserve the most respect. And you deserve to spend your money at a place that you feel safe at. I'm believing that the border health, the law enforcement, they all looking the other way. And they allowing these people to just get away with trashy businesses in the community. And it ain't right. Now I go to other areas. That's majority of another race. And I don't want to make you I don't want to make anybody feel like I'm attacking businesses that's owned by individuals from other nationalities. That's not what I'm doing. I'm telling these people they need to get it together or they need to get out of the community. We don't need them peddling drugs to our young adults to sell, because if you look back over the past 2 months, there have been young adults getting killed and young adults going to jail, and it's all happening around these little convenience stores. And I know what makes it cool to do it in that area because law enforcement, they show up after the deed is done. But in other areas, they are proactive and they making sure that this don't happen in other communities. So uh if we want change, we got to work together to demand change. If they won't fix it, you need to stop doing business with them. The place should be safe enough for you and your children. You're sending your children to to these stores, and I don't know how you can be sure that they're gonna make it back home safe with the way these companies are operating in these communities. But in other communities, I ride through there and I don't see no community stores in these communities, not a one. Their stores are out on the main highway and they have way more business. Their parking lots are clean, their store is clean. And if the workers don't do the work, which is keeping the place clean and presentable, they fire them and they get somebody else. That's business, So, in my mind, with what I see in other areas versus communities occupied by Americans of African descent is totally different. That's got to change, and the only way it's going to change is if you stop doing business with them until they fix it or they leave. And if they leave, we need some black owners to come in there and open up these businesses and treat your people better. Right now, they really don't care. They don't care if your children die. They don't care if your children go to jail. They just use that as a tool to blame them for all the mess that's going on in the community. The young adults, they trying to make it the best they can. They doing the right thing. They doing the drug thing. They doing whatever they think is going to get them to the next level, and school is not important. Going to school is not important to these young adults. The dropout rate, I don't know what it is, but I can bet you when I look into it, it's going to be high in these communities. So we have to put priority on our young adult. I mean, on education, and we have to sell that to our young adults. They at least need to know uh, the importance of being an educated young man, a young woman. They don't need to stand up and, communicate with people and act like they know what they're talking about. They need to know what they're talking about. And I see these businesses in other areas, they well lit. The law enforcement come in, get coffee, and they leave, or they not far away from these businesses at all times. So, I'm looking at it like this. The community, especially the communities with more Black Americans, can do a whole lot better. And they don't have to do much to make it better. All they got to do is change. All not they, we is change our behavior and change the way we allow people to disrespect us. You know, it's a must. I see the black communities as holy lands. I see it. I mean, with all the stuff that's going on in these areas, it is designed to go on in those areas. There is no opportunity, and these companies, they don't hire anybody from the community. They don't. But they need to step up their security. They need to hire people from the community, and they need to make sure that the place is safe, welcoming, and they're gonna be prosperous. You know, that's just the bottom line. And there's another area I'm looking in, and we just started this movement. Most of the houses in these areas are owned by uh, folks who are not African Americans. They are either Hispanics, uh, Middle Easterners, or Vietnamese. You're renting from these people, but they buy a house and they patch it up, and they expect you to live in it, and they don't want to do any repairs. I have a client I'm working with right now. His backyard, the sewer line is open, and it's been that way for over a year. And I'm asking him how could it go that long without them fixing the problem? He said they keep telling me they're going to get to it, and this is an elderly individual. This is a person who uh uh he gets around good and he understands well, but they're abusing this man. He got a hole in his kitchen floor to where uh uh vagrants, the not vagrants, the uh uh animals come in through the floor. And the last time it was fixed, matter of fact, he said it was never fixed. They just patched it up and put paint on it and made it look good. Now, these are Middle Easterners who own this house. Now, what we do is we take a report card. And, if he move out, we're going to make sure that the next tenants know what they're getting into before they rent that house. Just the other day, somebody came to this particular house to fix a problem, and all they did was they didn't even make it look better. It's got cracks. They put a vanity in, and on both sides of the vanity, you can see outside. You can see the pipes. And I'm like, wow. Painting, fixing roofs, and stuff like that is out. Now, if you put a person in a situation like that, they're not going to spend their money to fix up your house. You're supposed to fix that. Demand, respect. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing here at Team Purpose. We are going after these people, and we are holding them accountable for our young adults and our children being safe, and our the people who are renting from these people get what they're paying for. They can't just you can't just sit back and expect it to get better on their own, because they're not going to spend any money that they don't have to spend. So our process is we start with a letter, and it's a demanding letter that they fix that. The brother got pictures of how long it's been like that, and they hadn't made any move to fix it. These finance companies, they loaning you money, and the interest rate is crazy. I don't know why anybody would borrow money from a finance company, because you never pay them off. By the time you get them paid off, you need some more. So it is time for us, more people, to come together, and let's work together to correct this behavior that in the community that's been going on for a long time. Disrespect. They just don't care. You know, operate in any other communities in this country like they operate in African American communities. They can't do it. And we got to stop being fooled. We got to stop blaming ourselves for the situation that we in, because it is all designed to keep it right where it's at. Team Purpose, we here to help. You know, we are growing our coalition. We're growing our teams. And right now, we're working in between the areas of Scenic Highway and Airline Highway. That's what we're doing. That's where we're working at. And from Evangeline all the way to Florida Street, because past Florida Street, you know, you're not going to have that kind of crime. Now, you have other Black areas out there that have the same problem. And we can only do so much, and we can only do what the community is willing to step up and help us do. We can't do it by ourselves. So if you're living in these areas and you need help, give us a call at 225-755-9215. But it is a situation that's going on, and we are allowing it. We are letting it happen. And we are not doing anything to make it better. We're not making demands on where we spend our money. And for me, to be honest with you, I hope they do close. And I hope more Black people would step up and open up these businesses again and be responsible business owners, all for the sake of making the whole community better, great, all that it can be. And it's possible, but we have to get more people to sign up for the program and be willing to sign off on what we're doing. Share your ideas. Go to Team Purpose Help at yahoo.com. Send us a message. Let us know what's going on in your community that you're concerned about. But my biggest concern right now is these young adults killing each other over properties or areas that they have no ownership in, and the disrespect that they see their parents accepting when they just, you know, go to the store to spend some money, to spend their hard-earned money, you know. Now, you know, it's easy to just get up in the morning and go to work and feel good about you got a job, and then you come home and, you know, you got all of these concerns about light bill, water bill, telephone bill, lawn service. And I'll say this: if you're responsible for keeping the lawn up at your rent house, you need to do it. You know, if that's not your landlord's responsibility, if that's your responsibility, you need to step up, and your children need to see you being responsible like that. They need to see you go in that store and see the clerk totally disrespecting you, just like you do in areas out here. And you say, look, you can't disrespect me like that. You can't shoot your dice while I'm up in here trying to spend my money. You need to clean this parking lot. You need to clean this store. You know, it's ridiculous that we accept that. We wouldn't accept it nowhere else. We wouldn't go into another area and expect nothing but good, clean, respectable service. But not in the Black neighborhoods. We need to do better. We need to demand better. Now, thank you for listening to this video. I thank you for watching this video. And I'll give you my number again, 225-755-9215. Give us a call, send us an email at teampurposehelp@yahoo.com. Let us know what's going on in your world, and we're here to help. We we are professionals here, professionals at what I'm talking to you about. Get your landlord in order. Get your community stores in order, and you'll see your children do better. They'll respond to you better when they see daddy stepping up and demanding respect. When they see mama telling daddy what's going on at the store and she expect him to handle that. We got to come together and we got to get back in the roles that we were created to operate in. Man has responsibility, lady has responsibility. Thanks again for watching this video.